We are 2 rolls later now, and we have the oldest coin to come out of this box by far. You can probably already figure out which one it's gonna be. I am going to just push these coins out of the way, and you're gonna see the date on this one in 3, 2, 1. Look at that. Hello everybody and welcome back to Quin Coins, your home for treasure hunting of all kinds. So today we're going to be diving into some more rolls of Canadian pennies, aka the forbidden denomination. As you can see, we have our box of Canadian pennies right here, which I paid almost $100 in Canadian for, and the reason for that is because these coins are extremely difficult to get your hands on. To briefly summarize what we went over in the first episode, Canada ceased production of their pennies in 2012, which means that these coins have been out of circulation for a total of 7+ years now. Basically, the only way that you're going to get your hands on a box of Canadian pennies like this is either 1, you buy them online, which is what I did, or 2, you have really good connections in Canada and you know how to work the banks. So needless to say, I'm excited to get into some more rolls of Canadian pennies, and with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So here is our box of Canadian pennies. As you can see, it had a seal on it at one time, but we did break into that. Basically, you can see that it was packed in January 28th of 2013, which means that these coins have been sitting in a warehouse for the last 6+ years and just waiting to be opened at some point. So opening up the box here, you can see that these are all hand-wrapped rolls, Canadian pennies. Some of them do have American coins in them as well. But on this side over here, you can see we've already gone through the first 5. That's what we did in the first episode. And we're going to be going through 20 rolls today, which will put us at the exact halfway point in the box. So you can see this is kind of what some of the rolls look like. They're all a little bit different because they are hand-wrapped. They have different rolls. Some of them have more coins than others, which is kind of weird to see. You don't typically get that in the American coins. But anyways, guys, we are going to be trying to fill up this collection here. It's my Canadian cents collection. I'll go ahead and pull it over here. And this is kind of the goal for the series, is to see how far we can fill out this collection using only the coins in these actual legitimate Canadian boxes of coins. Alright, so now that we got the introduction out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and grab the first roll, and we're just going to dive into this one live. So I'm just going to get the very next one in line. We're basically just going straight through the box from left to right, front to back, and like I said, we're going to be doing 20 rolls today. So let's go ahead and find out what we're going to get in this first roll. So it looks like that ender is going to be a 2007, another one of those newer coins. And something that I was noticing in the last episode, there are a ton of newer coins in these rolls, so it's actually pretty difficult to find the older ones, whereas in the American coins, if you do find a Canadian, which is kind of rare, it's typically going to be an older coin. It's not going to be one of these newer post 2000 coins. But anyways, guys, we just got this one open. I'm seeing a bit of copper. I like to look for those darker coins because those typically mean that the coin is going to be older. For instance, this one right here is probably going to be 70s or 80s. And it looks like it's going to be 79. We might actually need that one in the collection still, so I'll hold on to that one. Here's another darker color right here. This one's going to be a 1981, so we'll put that to the side as well. And let's see if we can find any other darker colored coins. Here's an American. That one's just going to be a 1990. Looks like we got another American right here. It's going to be a 1987. But so far, I'm not really seeing anything super spectacular. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through the rest of these coins, see if I need any of them in the collection, and if I do, I will make sure to let you know. But if not, we'll go ahead and just get on to the next one, and hopefully we can find some old coins soon. Alright, so we got through that first roll without making too much progress, though we did find one coin that is going to be going into the collection for sure, and that is going to be this really pretty nice looking 1987 Canadian penny with the tiara obverse. And like I said earlier, these ones with the tiara obverse are actually the ones that are most difficult to find right now. You know, of course, aside from the Young Heads and the King Georges. But as you can see here, this is pretty much all of the newer coins here. You can see all of the uncrowned and the diadem varieties, which is pretty much most of the coins that come out of these rolls. And then these are all of the tiara coins that I found. I was also able to find 3 American coins, which I thought was pretty cool. I am kind of enjoying finding them in the rolls. There's definitely more of them in the Canadian rolls than I found Canadians in the American rolls. So I found that kind of interesting. But as you can see, guys, that 1987 is going to go into the collection right there. and it's actually going to finish off that row for us, which makes it look pretty nice there. I think that probably in this episode we are going to find at least these 3 coins, and then maybe even some of the ones over here on this page as well. And if we get really lucky, hopefully we can find some of those King Georges as well. But we'll go ahead and jump into the second roll of this episode now live. As you can see, it's another one of these a little bit shorter rolls. I think some of the ones coming up are going to be longer. They might actually have even more than 50 coins in them each, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this ender here. It's going to be a 2001, which is actually a little bit older than probably even the average for the coins in this box so far. But, you know, it's always exciting to open up a new roll because you never know what is going to come out of it. And it actually looks like that ender on the other side was quite old at 1978, so I'll have to pull that one out and see if we need that one in the collection. But just taking a look here at some of these others, I see maybe something older over here. It's actually an American, and it's going to be a 1977, so that's definitely interesting, but it's not exactly what we're looking for today. We're looking for some of these older Canadian pennies. Here's a 1975. I think that's the oldest one out of the box so far. Would really love to see something from the early 60s. There's another 79 right there. I'll pull that one out. But haven't really seen it yet. And also haven't really seen anything in, like, you know, exceptionally good shape for its age. I have been seeing a lot of these extremely shiny 2011s. I don't know if I just like hit a 2011 jackpot or if these are all like proof coins or something, but that is just an amazing shine. I've found at least one of those every roll. It's crazy. But I don't know, I think for this one, that might be about it. So I will go ahead and get on to the next one and, of course, look through these, make sure nothing goes into the collection, and I will get back to you once that's done. All right, so I just finished going through the second roll, and it did an exceptionally good job of filling out the collection for us. As you can see, we now have every single coin on this page, and it's literally the 3 coins that we were just talking about where I said that I think we're going to get them in this episode we pulled. So it's a 1980 here, 82 right there, and the 78 up there to complete that page. Okay, so I just pushed those coins into the collection. You can see we have an entirely full page of Canadian pennies right there. That is so cool to see. Just 7 rolls into this box and we already have that, so it's definitely possible. Now the real challenge is going to be filling out this page, and the real challenge is going to be filling out the King Georges, but I'm really hoping that we can get one in today's box, hopefully in this first half. So what I'm going to do now is dump these coins out into the box. I got a nice little box of American pennies here that I can dump them into, because I gotta be honest, guys, this is the first box of Canadian pennies that I've ever had, so I'm not gonna have a box like that laying around. And now that the placemat is nice and clean looking, we're gonna grab the third roll, open it up, and hopefully we can get at least a young head in here. We only have 1 young head in the collection so far. Those are the Canadian pennies that went from 1953 up through 1964. Obviously missing quite a few of those in the collection at this point, so let's see if we're gonna get one here in this third roll. And if not, then we'll just go ahead and cut to the next roll where we actually find something really nice. All right, so looking at this right side, I think we actually have some pretty nice potential in this roll. I actually see a pretty old looking American coin right there. This one looks like it could have some age. Nope, just going to be a 78, which is actually one of the coins we just put into the collection. There's a 76, that's the oldest so far. Oh, here we go. This might actually go into the collection here. It's a 1969. I think that's the oldest coin that we found so far in today's episode. And like I said, guys, I have a pretty old looking American coin here. How cool would it be if we found an American wheat penny in a Canadian roll? Let's go ahead and see if we're going to get that. We'll reveal that date here. 3, 2, 1. Oh man, I thought that said 1952, but it's just going to be a 1982. Still copper though, so it's cool to see. But just briefly here, let's go through the rest of these. See another TR there, that's an 81. I'm actually going to pull those to the side for now. There's a 79 right there. We're coming up on an American coin here, actually a couple. There's an 84, and what do we got here? Oh, 2 in a row, 94 and 2007. We'll pull those out. See, we got another tiara here. It's a 76. Actually, quite a few older coins in this roll, so I'm definitely happy with it so far. Just not seeing that young head or King George like we've been looking for. Quite a few Americans too. There's 2 more right next to each other, and then 2 more right next to each other once again. So that's pretty weird to see. But oh, there's one more at the end too. So wow, lots of Americans in this roll here. At least I think 7 or 8 plus those. So anyways, we'll go ahead and get into the next one, guys, and I will turn the camera back on when we find something amazing. All right, guys, so I just opened up the very next roll, and right off the bat, I'm seeing some really good potential for some old coins here. Specifically, I'm seeing one right here, which I think might have a chance, but it looks like that one's just going to be a tiara. Now going to the one where I think we definitely have a chance, right here, and I'm already looking at that, guys. I think this is going to be a young head. Let's go ahead and expose it here in 3, 2, 1. Yes, it is going to be a young head Canadian. As I said earlier, these were minted from 1953 up through 1964. I believe the only one that we currently have in the collection is the 1964, which is by far the most common out of all of them. So in just a second here, we're going to flip it over to the reverse, and we'll check out the date. So let's go ahead and do that now in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, that's a good one, guys. It's always good to see them out of the 60s and into the 50s, and that one just barely made it at 1959. That is definitely going to be going into our collection. Let me pull that up real quick to show you the spot that will be filling. So we'll take a look here. Basically, the young heads span this entire page, starting up here in 1953 and then coming down to the one that we have, 1964. This one, 1959, is going to go right there, and that is an awesome find. So I'm very happy to be pulling that one out, especially in the very next roll. Just real quickly here, let's go through to make sure that we don't have any other young heads, hiding from us here. Make sure we don't have any King Georges either. And of course, I'll go through these once again. I see some really nice toning over here on this side that I'm really liking it. It's kind of like almost like a yellow tinge to it, which is pretty cool. It's showing up pretty well on the camera as well. But guys, I think that is going to be it for this one. So I'll go through these to make sure I didn't miss any, and then we'll go ahead and get on to the next roll. So I just dumped out the very next roll, and I think we might have another young head here, guys. Let's check this out together. So right here, I am seeing the word Elizabeth across the top, and I'm pretty sure that this is distinctly going to be a young head right here. Let's just pull this back, and yes, it is going to be another young head here, guys. Once again, we have the obverse showing, so we'll get the opportunity to take your guesses at what you guys think the date is going to be on this one. We're going to flip it over to the back, and one thing I wanted to mention with these young head Canadians is that you're typically looking for the earlier dates. I think around like the 54, 55, those are some pretty good dates. So let's hope to get some of those earlier 50s, maybe mid 50s on this one right here. So let's go ahead and flip this over now in 3, 2, 1. It's just going to be a 1963, but the good news is we do actually need that one in the collection, so I am definitely happy to see that. We will be putting it in right over here. It kind of sort of next to that 1959, at least in the same row. It's going to be right there, 1963. So real quickly here, let's make sure that we didn't miss any more young heads coming out of this roll. I had a nice older looking one here, but it's just a 74. I think I still need the 1970 as well, so I'll be on the lookout for that one. The rolls have definitely been getting better though. I'm seeing a lot more older coins here. There's a 72 right there. I just saw a 69 earlier. Those have been actually showing up quite a bit. But guys, I think that is going to do it for that roll. So we'll go ahead and get it onto the next one, and we'll see what else we can find. Okay, so I just went through a couple more rolls without having any luck other than finding a whole bunch of American coins in the rolls. And speaking of American coins, you can see we actually have an American Ender here. It looks like it's going to be a 1986. Just real quick though, I wanted to comment on how overstuffed these particular rolls are. You can see that it hardly closes. There's probably 54 cents in what is supposed to be a 50-cent roll right there, and not to mention that some of them are American other than Canadian, as you can see by that ender. So let's go ahead and pour this one out. I just want to see if we're going to get lucky on this one. These ones are a little bit more tricky to get out because they're really, packed in there good. The walls on the rolls are pretty tight, so you kind of got to shake them out at the end there. But let's see if we're going to get any older ones in this one. We haven't had any luck on the last two, like I said. So I don't know. This one's not looking too good either, other than maybe some of these coins over here on this side. I'm seeing some darker coins. There's a 76 right there. But I think that's pretty much... Ooh, wait a minute. Here we go. Looks like we got a little bit of an older coin here. It's going to be a 1966. It almost made it as a young head, and it turns out I think we actually need that one in the collection. So 1966 is going to be right here, so that one is actually going to be going in. So that was a nice one to catch live. Don't know what that is, but that's why we wear gloves. So alright guys, we'll go ahead and get on to the next one. I'll put that one into the collection, and I'll let you know when we find something else. Alright, so it's been about 4 rolls since I found anything, but I think we might actually have a major discovery here. This is either going to be a young head or a King George, and you'll see what I mean in just a second here. You can see the reticles, or the denticles, I can't remember. I think it's the denticles is the correct term for it. It's those little dots around the edge of the coin. They looked really distinct on this particular coin, so I'm going to flip this back. I think it looks like we're going to see the date right away. So I'm seeing the 19. Let's see what that next digit is going to be. I'm going to bring this up so that you guys can see it with me. So let's go ahead and make sure we cover it up here. And focus. 19. Oh, there we go. 55 it looks like. So 1955 I believe is going to be a young head Canadian. And it looks like the date is like slashed out on that thing. It's pretty weird. But we'll flip this over to the obverse so that you guys can see this. It is the young head Canadian. And I believe that this one is actually pretty difficult to find. Like I was saying before, the 54, 55 in that area I think is pretty difficult to find. I'll double check that by grabbing my book in just a second to make sure. But let's see if we get any more in here. I don't think we've had a roll yet that's had, you know, more than one young head or anything like that. So hopefully we can get lucky on this one. I'm seeing some opportunities, but at this point I don't really see much more. I do have a couple of other finds to show you though, just before we take a look at the book. These were some things that I found earlier, and actually I see a 1968 right there in pretty decent shape. I think that one is actually going to be going into the collection as well as that 1955, so I'll put that one to the side. Had some interesting finds. First of all, just wanted to show you this. It's a 1971 S. The S mint marks don't come up too often in American currency, especially over here towards the Midwest, so I thought that was kind of cool to see come out. And then this really beat up Canadian coin. It looks like it's a 1960 something. And the funny thing about this, talk about promoting Canadian stereotypes of everybody being nice. Somebody put a little heart sticker on it, which I thought was kind of cute. But anyways, we'll go ahead and take a look at our Canadian book to see what the mintage is on that 1955, because I'm interested to see. I think that's one of the lowest minted young heads that there are. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. So I got my coin book here. It's called Coins of Canada. This is the 2006 version, so it's a little bit outdated. Flip over to the page where we have the young heads, and you can take a look right here. This goes from 53 up through 64. This is all of them right here. And you can see right there the 1955 actually has a couple of different varieties on it, but it looks like it's actually the second lowest minted year out of all of them. You can see that the lowest minted is the 1954, so that would be like the key date out of the young heads. But the 55 is actually comes in at 56 million, which is lower than any other number except for the 1954. So we just got the second lowest minted coin right there, which is really, really cool to see. And it looks like we do have a couple of different varieties as well. I think we're going to have to take a look at those in a future video, because I need to remind myself what those are. I think the book kind of gives you an idea of what they are somewhere around here. But anyways, I think we're just going to go ahead and push through these rolls to keep looking up what we can find, and we'll get to that a little bit later. So with that being said, I think we got about 10 more rolls to go, so let's go ahead and see what we can get. Alright, so we're on the very next roll now, and there was something weird about this roll. It was like when I was trying to push it out, it felt like there was something that was just like sticking the coins up, like half the roll was just stuck behind some weird object, and I think I just found out why that is. Take a look at this, guys. This is ridiculous. Look at this foreign coin which just came out of this roll. Now the first thing that you're going to notice about it is that there's actually a pretty noticeable size difference between this foreign coin and a regular Canadian coin, and it was actually keeping the coins from coming out, which made it a little bit difficult for me. It is still Elizabeth portrayed on that coin. It looks like this one's from 2010, and then I think if we flip it over to what I believe to be the reverse, we should be able to figure out where it's from. But looking at this, I can't exactly tell you. All I can say is that this is probably from somewhere in Europe, based on what I am seeing on this coin. It just looks familiar in that way. But I couldn't actually tell you where this is from precisely. I'm not an expert on world coins, so you'll have to let me know down in the comments below what you guys know about this one. I'll definitely be doing some research as well. So that's really cool to find, though. I love finding these foreign coins. It seems like a lot of them come up more often in the Canadian currency than they do in the US currency. But, oh, look at that. We got another little sticker. This one's a butterfly this time. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, one other thing that I found in this roll right away was another date that we need. It's not a young head, but it is a 1970, which has actually been pretty difficult to find up until now. I have a difficulty finding these in the American coins as well, but I'll go ahead and show you where that one's going to be going into the collection. As you can see, this page is quite a bit more full than it was when we started. So the 1970 is going to be going right there. I'll go ahead and put it there now. And with that being said, let's see. I think we might actually have some more interesting stuff in this roll. So I'm going to go ahead and push through and see what else we can get here. Now, I think we're still looking for, I think we have everything up to the 70s. We still need the 1967 bird scent, as I like to call it. There's another American. I'll pull that out. But it looks like that's it for that roll, so we will get on to the next one. Okay, guys, we are 2 rolls later now, and we have the oldest coin to come out of this box by far. I already peeked at the date, but I'll go ahead and let you guys guess it for yourselves. So you can probably already figure out which one it's going to be. That nice older looking coin right there. So I am going to just push these coins out of the way, and you're going to see the date on this one in 3, 2, 1. Look at that. Sorry about that, guys. My phone battery died right as I was explaining that, so I have it on a charger now. But as you can see, we have the oldest coin that has come out of this box so far. It's a 1940, and it almost made it into the King George V era. If it was just, I think, 3 years older, we would have had a King George V. But 1940, I'll flip it over to the obverse so you can see that this is going to be a King George VI. It has some blemishes for sure. There's some little dents there on the bottom left side of the coin, but overall that's a really nice find. King Georges don't come up too often, as you guys have seen. So I am really excited to get that one. Okay, so I got that 1940 into the collection. We are 2 rolls later now, and I'm pretty sure I have another young head Canadian, hopefully one that we don't already have in the collection. So right here, yep, it looks like it's definitely going to be a young head Canadian. So let's take a look at this one together. This one is also looking pretty old. I'm thinking maybe early 60s though on that one, but we're gonna find out here in 3, 2, 1. Yep, early 60s, right on the dot, 1960. So as you know, that is another one that we need in the collection. So we've actually been getting pretty lucky here, not getting any duplicates of the young heads in this episode, even though we're getting more and more of them into the collection. I also really like the toning on that one. There's like this weird like aura around all of the details on that coin, which is really cool. All right, guys, we're on the very next roll now, and I just got another amazing find. Once again, this is going to be a King George VI, and it's going to be in the 1940s. I saw a little peek at the date once again here because it came out obverse side up, and I was like, that coin looks pretty old. So I peeled it back here, and you're going to see here in just a second, it ended up being a 1943 Canadian penny. So that is going to be a really, really nice find right there, especially if you were to find that in the American coins. As most of you know, we made pennies out of steel in 1943. So if you find a copper 1943 American coin, that's definitely worth the big bucks. But here we have a 1943 Canadian. Once again, it's going to be a King George VI. That's always a nice sign to see right there. And especially coming off of that last King George VI that we found really wasn't that long ago. So that one will definitely be going into the collection. And let's see if we have any more in this roll. I see a lot of older looking actually American coins here, which is pretty cool to see. We have a nice copper one there, 1981. And then right here is another one, 1976 it looks like on that one. And this one right here is, oh, look at that. We actually got another S-Mint coin right there, 1969S. There's actually a double die on this one, which everybody pretty much knows about within the coin roll hunting community, but it doesn't look like this one has it, so I will put it with the rest of the coins. But oh, look at that, guys. This is actually turning out to be a really good roll. Over here on the left side, actually very close to that King George VI, we just pulled out a young head Canadian right there. So let's go ahead and flip this one over and see what we're going to get a date on that one. 3, 2, 1. Yes, guys, once again, still we have no duplicates. Right there is a 1962, and that one is also going to be going into the collection alongside that 1943. So that is really, really cool. That's definitely the best roll that we've gotten so far, and it's not over yet. Okay, just kidding, it is over. Alright guys, so we have 2 more rolls to go. I will put those coins into the collection and get back to you if I find anything good in either one of those 2 rolls. Alright, those last 2 rolls were fairly uneventful, so we are now in wrap-up mode. So first of all, I want to take a look at the box. As you can see, we are at the exactly halfway point now. And now to take a look at the collection and all of the coins that we found in the past 20 rolls. So we got pretty far today, surprisingly far actually, especially in those last few rolls there where we pulled out some of these KG6s. We get the 1940 and 1943, and we had the 47 prior. So that's what you're seeing right there on that page. Flipping over to this page here, I think this is where we made the most progress with all of the young heads that came out. Definitely the best one was the 1955. Still need to check that for the rare variety, and looks like over here on the book, it looks like if we have the rare variety, which would be the no shoulder folds, it would actually be like a $150 coin, which would be pretty nice, I have to say. But I put it in the regular spot just to be safe, because that's probably what it's going to end up being anyway. But as you can see, we got the 55, 59, 60, 62, and 63. So we did pretty well there. We also got quite a few of them down here as well. And then we filled up this page entirely, which was really cool to see. And I don't think we had any progress to make over here. We already had all of that filled out. So other than that, we had a pretty cool looking foreign coin right here. It also has a Queen Elizabeth on it, just like most of these other coins do. And here is the full list of coins that we were able to pull out. The YH indicates young head, and then the KG6 is, of course, King George VI. And then we have a huge pile of American coins that came out right here. Of course, as always, if you want to pick up one of the coin roll hunting placemats that you saw me using in today's video, you can head on over to quinscoins.com, and I will be putting those links down in the description below. As you can see, you have all of the coins that you're likely to find in an American penny roll across the front of it, along with the Canadian penny right there. And then on the back side, we have these score sheets, which we use to rate the boxes. And we actually have an additional Canadian score sheet down here in the bottom corner. I think I'm going to be using this in future videos, but so far we're just kind of putting our feet in the water to see what Canadian coin roll hunting is like. But once we kind of get into the groove of things a little more, we're going to be using this to rate the different rolls that we go through as far as the Canadian pennies go. And then you also have your key date and low mintage ranges here for the American coins, of course. These are really useful, and they're nice for picking up the coins and transporting them to your dump box. Once again, you can get these at my website at quinscoins.com, and I'll put links down in the description below. But anyways, guys, that is going to pretty much do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to go down below and leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, because we post new videos like this every single week. Always bring you along with the hunts and having a good time. And as always, I'm Quinn, and this is Quin's Coins signing out, and I will see you in the next one.